Tonight, the man charged with his murder is in jail without bond. LaDeromney Brown has a long criminal history dating back to the 90s.
Several of his charges involved violence against police officers. Today, the Way 31 I-team uncovered records that show Brown attacked or tried to kill an officer at least 3 times. Way 31 spent the day looking into how a career criminal could get his hands on a gun several different times and always to avoid major prison time.
Way 31's Shosh Bedrosian spoke with law enforcement and the U.S. Attorney about how easy it is to get a gun illegally.
Dan and Naja, U.S. Attorney Jay Town told me today over the phone that he doesn't believe you can reduce the amount of violent crime without taking illegal firearms off of the street, but that's easier said than done. Now, after digging into the criminal history of the suspect Brown, who is now charged with capital murder, he should never have been able to possess a gun since he's a convicted felon. J-Town is working to reduce gun violence in northern Alabama through Project Guardian. The project focuses on federal, state, and local law enforcement to federally prosecute the use of illegal firearms. It also works to enforce the background check system and working to make sure those who are prohibited from using firearms for mental health reasons don't get their hands on any. On Saturday, Town pointed to the murder of Billy Clardy as a reason it's so important.
We need to explain to a wife give her an explanation as to why this defendant was walking around the streets in the first place. We need to explain to these 5 children why their daddy will never come home.
He says agencies in the region have the tools to reduce the number of illegal firearms on the streets. Town told me nationwide in 2019 there's been 17,000 illegal federal firearm prosecutions. He says that's up from 12,000 in 2016.
Unfortunately, firearms can be obtained by violent felons, and whether it's through theft or other means, it is difficult.
Stephen Young with the Limestone County Sheriff's Office said deputies deal with convicted felons getting their hands on guns way too often.
The vast majority of your crime committed with a firearm is committed with a firearm that's owned illegally, either by a convicted felon or it's been stolen.
Court documents obtained by Way 31 show the suspect, LaDeromney Brown, should have never had a gun because he's a convicted felon. And Friday's arrest isn't the first time police say they found him with a gun.
In this case, you have somebody who, repeatedly violated the law, repeatedly was in trouble with law enforcement in several areas.
Town told me today that there will be a news conference on Thursday or Friday that will discuss Brown's criminal history. Reporting live in Huntsville, Shosh Bedrosian, Way 31 News.